Welcome to Bharat News on Bharat TV. My name is Shajiv Jagannathan, and here are tonight's top headlines. Canada retaliates against President Trump's tariffs with its own trade restrictions. Elon Musk raises concerns over fraudulent treasury payments. The U.S. military has launched airstrikes on ISIS targets in Somalia. In a tragic incident, a third Black Hawk soldier killed in the D.C. crash has been identified. A subcontractor involved in the Obama Presidential Center project has filed a $40 million discrimination lawsuit. And in Indian news, Trump has notably excluded India from its latest tariff impositions. And Prime Minister Modi's visit to the Murugan Temple in Jakarta underscores India-Indonesia unity. And India has surged to the 4th spot in the Global Firepower Index. And the Indian cricket team secured a dominant win over England in the latest T20. And internationally, Ukraine faces renewed Russian attacks in the Poltava region. So let's dive right into tonight's news. Canada has announced its own set of retaliatory tariffs against the United States in response to trade restrictions imposed by President Donald Trump. The trade war is set to escalate on Tuesday as Canada moves to impose duties on key American exports, including agricultural products, steel, and consumer goods. Prime Minister Trudeau emphasized that Canada will not back down from unfair trade policies and will stand firm in protecting its economy. Experts have warned that these measures could have far-reaching effects on both economies, potentially disrupting supply chains and increasing costs for consumer goods. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce has urged both nations to return to negotiations before the dispute worsens. Analysts predict that if a resolution is not reached soon, additional countermeasures could follow, further straining North American trade relations. Elon Musk has raised serious concerns about fraudulent treasury payments after reports surfaced about irregular financial transactions. Musk took to social media to demand greater transparency in the financial system, calling for investigations into how unauthorized entities, including Doge-related accounts, allegedly gained access to federal payment systems. Lawmakers have responded with urgency, demanding stricter oversight and safeguards to prevent further breaches. Treasury officials have yet to issue a detailed response, but have assured the public that they are looking into the allegations. Financial analysts warn that such fraudulent activities, if proven, could shake confidence in the financial system and lead to broader regulatory reforms. Cybersecurity experts are now scrutinizing the situation to assess vulnerabilities and ensure stricter security protocols are in place. The U.S. military has launched airstrikes on ISIS positions in Somalia as part of an ongoing counterterrorism campaign. According to Pentagon officials, the strikes targeted high-value insurgents responsible for orchestrating attacks in the region. The operation is conducted in coordination with the Somali government, which has been battling extremist elements within its borders. U.S. military leaders have reiterated their commitment to eradicating terrorist networks that pose a threat to global security. While the airstrikes were deemed successful, some analysts caution that military interventions must be coupled with diplomatic efforts to ensure long-term stability in Somalia. The latest operation marks an intensification of U.S. counterterrorism efforts in Africa. The U.S. military has identified the third soldier killed in last week's tragic Black Hawk helicopter crash in Washington, D.C. The fatal accident occurred during a routine training exercise, raising renewed concerns about aviation safety in armed forces. The cause of the crash is currently under investigation, with preliminary reports pointing to possible mechanical failure. Military officials have pledged a thorough review of helicopter safety protocols to prevent similar incidents in the future. Tributes have poured in from colleagues and family members, honoring the dedication and sacrifice of the fallen soldier. Aviation experts emphasize the need for improved maintenance checks and training procedures to minimize these tragedies. A subcontractor working on the Obama Presidential Center has filed a $40 million lawsuit alleging racial discrimination and financial mismanagement. The lawsuit claims that minority-owned businesses were treated unfairly and suffered major financial setbacks due to biased contracting practices. Legal representatives argue that the discrimination led to unnecessary cost overruns and project delays. The engineering firm at the center of the lawsuit has denied the allegations, asserting that all business dealings were conducted fairly. Civil rights groups have called for an independent investigation to assess the claims. The controversy has reignited discussions about equity and fairness in large-scale infrastructure projects. In a significant diplomatic move, President Donald Trump has excluded India from its latest round of tariffs, which instead target China, Mexico, and Canada. Indian officials have welcomed the decision, viewing it as a sign of strengthening economic ties between India and the United States. Trade analysts believe this exemption will provide a boost to Indian exports and economic stability. Some experts caution that global trade tensions may still impact India indirectly. However, the move is expected to further solidify India-US relations, particularly in key sectors such as technology and defense. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Jakarta's Murugan Temple has underscored India's deep-rooted cultural and historical connections with Indonesia. Modi emphasized the significance of shared traditions and unity between the two nations. The visit was marked by warm celebrations from the Tamil community in Indonesia, who expressed their appreciation for Modi's presence. The Indian government highlighted the visit as part of its broader effort to enhance bilateral relations with Southeast Asian nations. The political analysts believe this visit will pave the way for stronger diplomatic and economic collaboration between India and Indonesia in the coming days. India has ascended to the 4th position in the Global Firepower Index, overtaking Pakistan, which has now dropped to 12th place. The rise is attributed to India's continued military modernization, strategic investments in defense technology. Military experts have praised India's advancements, particularly in missile defense and naval capabilities. Government officials reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening national security, and the new ranking solidifies India's position as a major global military power. India wrapped up the T20I series against England with a commanding 4-1 win after a record-breaking 150-run victory in the 5th and final match at Wankhede Stadium, Mumbai. Abhishek Sharma stole the show with an explosive innings, guiding India to its biggest ever T20 win against England in terms of runs. 13 years after India's 90-run victory over England in 2012 T20 World Cup, they set a new benchmark with an even more dominant performance. After being put into bat, Abhishek went on a rampage, reaching his half-century in just 17 balls. Sanju Samson laid the foundation with a quick start, while Tilak Varma partnered with Abhishek in a crucial 115-run stand. Despite Bryden Carse's 3-wicket haul, India powered their way to 247 for 9 in 20 overs. England's chase never got going as the Indian bowlers delivered a clinical performance to seal a historic win in the series. Ukraine has reported renewed Russian missile strikes and drone attacks in the Poltava region, further escalating tensions in the ongoing conflict. Ukrainian officials confirmed that infrastructure and civilian areas were targeted in the strikes. The international community has strongly condemned the aggression, with NATO reiterating its support for Ukraine. Humanitarian organizations are mobilizing aid to assist affected civilians. Global leaders have urged diplomatic efforts to prevent further escalation of the war. The situation remains highly volatile as Ukraine braces for potential additional strikes. And that concludes today's news on Bharat TV. For more updates on these stories and others, visit our website or follow us on social media. My name is Shajiv Jagannathan, and I will see you next time.